People often wondered how she could laugh so easily, how her voice could rise above the noise with that bright, effortless sound that made everyone look up, how she always knew the right moment to throw in a joke, lift a mood, or redirect tension. No one questioned it. No one imagined there was anything beneath it. They just assumed that some people were built from light. But Mira knew the truth, that her laughter wasn't light at all. It was armor. She didn't choose it consciously. It became instinct. The moment she felt something tighten inside her chest, she'd smile. When her heart stung in the middle of a conversation, she'd joke. When someone mentioned love, breakups, or moving on, she'd change the subject before the ache inside her grew sharp enough to show on her face. Most days it worked. Most people never looked closely enough to notice anything strange. And Mira preferred it that way. It was easier to hold everything in than let anyone sit too close. A few months earlier, she had believed she finally understood what safety felt like. Leo had that effect. His presence was calming, the kind that softened her worries without trying. With him, the world felt steady, like something she could actually lean on. She thought they were building something future-proof, something that would grow with them, stretch with them, survive their changes. But his world shifted in ways neither of them saw coming. A new job in a place far from home, pressure that tightened his schedule, long days that left little energy for conversation. Their calls shortened, his messages became brief. The space between them slowly expanded until Mira didn't know how to close it. And one evening, Leo simply sighed and said, "You deserve someone who can stay." She didn't argue, she didn't beg, she just nodded, even though a quiet fracture ran through her. She told him she understood, even though she didn't. She told him it was okay, even though it wasn't. And after he left, she sat on her bed, staring at the wall, feeling like someone had quietly removed a part of her she didn't know how to replace. In the days that followed, she felt exposed, like the world could suddenly see how fragile she was. Instead of letting people get close, she tightened her smile and reached for laughter. It covered the empty spaces inside her, at least long enough to get her through another day. Her friends loved having her around. She filled silences before they became awkward. She kept the energy from dropping. She remembered everyone's jokes and reacted to them with the same spark every time. But she also felt herself fading behind the version of her that everyone adored. One evening, her group met for dinner after weeks of scattered schedules. Mira arrived a little late, adjusting her expression in the car mirror until it looked believable. She stepped inside and instantly felt eyes light up in her direction. Someone shouted her name, someone else pulled out a chair for her, and someone made a playful comment she easily spun into a joke. They laughed. She laughed louder. Underneath, her stomach felt heavy, like she'd swallowed something she couldn't digest. But no one noticed as she poured drinks, teased her friends, and leaned into the rhythm she'd perfected over time. At one point during the meal, she drifted, her gaze fixed on her untouched food, her mind replaying something so small she wished she could forget it. The last time Leo had laughed at one of her jokes, the way he looked at her afterwards. Something in her throat tightened. "You okay?" someone asked casually. She lifted her head, flashed a practiced grin, and replied, "Yeah, just tired." They accepted it instantly. No one asked again. Later that night, the group moved to a friend's backyard for a small birthday celebration. Music played softly, and string lights swayed with the breeze. Mira stayed in the center of the conversations, smiling at stories, stepping back into the same familiar role she always filled. But when the candles were blown out, and everyone clapped, something inside her flickered strangely, like suddenly her chest was too hollow to hold a single sound. She excused herself with a quick joke and stepped outside the gate, letting the quiet wrap around her. The street was still. Only a few porch lights glowed from nearby homes, and across the road, a couple stood close, sharing an easy moment, hands intertwined, foreheads touching in a way that felt natural, unforced, real. Something inside Mira cracked, not loudly, not visibly, just a soft internal collapse, the kind people experience when they finally run out of strength to pretend. Her breath trembled. She pressed a hand against her face as if that could keep the emotion from spilling out, but it escaped anyway, silently. In a few warm tears, she tried to brush away before anyone saw. She didn't hear footsteps behind her. She only noticed when someone stopped a few feet away. It was Noah, a friend she never thought paid much attention. He didn't speak, he didn't ask. He simply stepped closer and sat beside her on the cold step.
She didn't look at him. He didn't look at her. He just stayed there, quietly, with the steady presence of someone who didn't want answers, only to offer company. After a moment, her voice wavered. "I'm fine." He shook his head gently. "You don't have to be." That was all he said. Something eased inside her, not fully, not enough to stop the sadness entirely, but enough to remind her that she didn't have to carry everything alone. For the first time in months, she let someone see her without the mask. Her hands trembled slightly, her breathing steadied slowly, and when she finally exhaled, it felt like releasing something she'd been holding too tightly. They sat there for a long while, listening to distant laughter from the backyard, sharing a silence that didn't feel heavy or awkward. It felt safe. Later, when she returned to the group, she smiled again, but this time it wasn't forced. It wasn't a shield. It was softer, quieter, more honest. She wasn't healed. She wasn't suddenly whole, but she wasn't hiding in the same way anymore. And as she stood among her friends, people who had always loved the version of her that laughed, she felt something new, something careful but real, the understanding that she didn't need to pretend to be unbreakable. Sometimes letting others see the cracks was the first step toward feeling human again.